let me start out with something. This is my YouTube channel. What I post is what I want to post, what I want to share with you guys. You guys want to join me, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe down below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And all you negative little internet trolls, if you got something negative to say, then scoot on out, because keep your negativity can't talk. Keep your negativity to yourself. I obviously don't give a shit about your negative comments, okay? Because you will be blocked. And I love to block people. Many of you guys, so let's get started. Let's continue. Yeah. Excuse me if I'm being a little stupid, because this is like my first video that I film. And again, this is my journey, what I went through, my experience. I'm here to just share it with you guys. It might touch your heart, inspire you, help you. I don't know. Take it wherever you want to take it. But many of you have always asked me, followed me, joined me on my Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever. I appreciate for all the support and for you guys to sticking with me. So anyways, fast forward to 29 years old of my life, because I was 29 when I got diagnosed with breast cancer. At 29, I've had it all. My car, my kids, husband, house, whatever. But I wasn't happy. I was a bitter, excuse my language, witch, you know? Great job, make good money. I could get whatever I want to get. I'm not like rich, but I'm not poor. You know what I mean? But I wasn't happy. So I knew that I was going to go through a big lesson in my life. I just didn't know what. But I felt like I was frustrated with my life. I was unappreciative. I was moody, cranky, you know. And I said one day, you know what? Next year, I'm either going to quit my job, get pregnant, or something big's going to happen to me, because I'm frustrated with life. I'm over it. Like, I'm done, you know. My coworkers are like, yeah, shut up, Janet. You have it good. Just be positive. Get over it, whatever you're going through. I think it was around the holidays in 2011. Before the holidays in 2011. So it was like summer-ish, 2011. So I was already getting sick, on and off, getting sick, cough, cold, diarrhea, nauseated, vomiting, severe symptoms where I'm like fatigue. One day I'm fine, the next day I'm really sick and down. I had no clue what was going on. I kept going to the doctor, like, today I've had diarrhea for like 3 days. I don't know what's wrong with me. Oh, I've been nauseated for a month. Maybe I'm pregnant. I don't know. My period was always normal. I'm like, maybe I'm gonna come out on a TV show. I don't know, I was pregnant. I don't know what was going on with me. I was constantly doing pregnancy tests. I was nauseated up the ass. Like, I would be at work, put in a patient. I'm not gonna say where I work, but put in a patient, go to the bathroom, I feel like vomiting. Go to the bathroom, nauseated. I would go to lunch, I would rather sleep. So instead of eating my lunch, I would go to my car, take a nap, eat my lunch real quick, eat if I wanted to. I was starting to lose my appetite. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like I said, I kept going back and forth to the doctor. And eventually I got sent to psych. Yeah, they sent me to psych. They told me that it was all in my head, that nothing's wrong with me, that I need to go see psych because I'm just stressing myself out. People, friends, co-workers would make fun of me. They'd be like, oh yeah, you know, you Google a symptom and that's Janet. She Googles all her symptoms, you know? And I'm like, no, I know something's wrong with me. I know that my body is telling me that something's wrong with me, but nobody's listening to me. I know I'm sick. Like, I'm not making this up. You know, I started getting written up at work, write-up after write-up after write-up after write-up. I eventually got to a level 3. And when I got to a level 3, there's level 4. After level 4, you decide if you want to quit or get fired. So level 3, I told my boss, I feel like I'm fighting for my life. I can't do this anymore. You know, I'm going to have to take a leave of absence. I need to figure out what's wrong with me, because I know something's wrong with me and I can't figure it out. And I'm getting really tired and frustrated and I just don't know what it is. So I go home, I shower after my write-up, and I'm in the shower. The shower to me, I don't know if it's for you guys, but the shower to me is like where I just think, let go of my thoughts, think of, process whatever I'm going through, pray. That's another thing. So I was raised a Catholic, gone to church every Sunday, but was I like a hardcore Catholic? No, I prayed once in a while. You know, I'm being honest with what I'm telling you guys. So then I started talking to God. Whew, I'm gonna get emotional. And I asked, what is wrong with me? Am I crazy? Why do people think that I'm making up stuff? I know that I feel sick. Guide me, Father, to what I need to find and what's going on with me. So I'm in the shower. And before I worked in pediatrics, I worked in OB/GYN. One of the midwives there, or nurse practitioners, taught me how to do we had implants with cancer. And so she told me like, oh, this is what cancer feels like, and whatever. So I'm in the shower, I'm 29, I'm like, yeah, right, I don't have breast cancer, I'm too young for this. So I find the lump. I run out of the shower and I'm like, oh my God, I found my diagnosis. I know what's wrong with me. I have breast cancer. This is what the lump felt like in those implants. I have breast cancer. I know what's wrong with me. So then I go back to work. My batch works in the department in OB/GYN. You know, my batch works. I don't know. So I let myself in and I went to one of my doctors. I don't want to disclose her name because I didn't ask her, or I didn't ask anybody. If I don't say people's names in this video, it's because I don't have their consent and I don't know if I should or could. But to keep it on the safe side, I let myself into that department, OB/GYN, and I asked the doctor, and I'm like, oh my God, I found my diagnosis. Can you check me? And she's like, Janet, go in the exam room. And I'm like, you have no appointments. I know I shouldn't be here, whatever. By the way, I say a lot. So then I let myself in, and she started checking me, and she looks at me, and just by the way that she looked at me, I'm like, she's thinking what I'm thinking. I finally found a doctor that believes in me and that knows that I'm not lying. So she tells me, Janet, we need to schedule a biopsy. We need to schedule an ultrasound. We need to schedule a mammogram, and you need to see the surgeon. When she said all that, I'm like, I know it's cancer for sure. But at least I have a diagnosis now. I know that I'm not crazy. I know that what I'm feeling and what my body's telling me, that it's true. So the following week, I go get a mammogram. It was really hard to schedule. Like, she had to get on the phone with them and argue with them because I'm 29, nobody wants to schedule it. There's no family history of breast cancer, so it's harder, you know, like what 29-year-old really goes through breast cancer? So then we schedule it, we do the mammogram, and I'm looking at my mammogram and I remember I can see roots everywhere. And I'm like, dude, that has to be cancer. I know that has to be cancer. They move me to the ultrasound room. They do an ultrasound. Then another doctor comes in and they tell me, you cannot leave from here. We have to biopsy you like right here, right there. I know that you have an appointment, but everything has to be done like ASAP now. So I know it's getting more serious. I work in the medical field. I've always worked in the medical field since I was 18. And I understand that when doctors start coming in like that, something's happening. So I stay there, do the mammogram, do the ultrasound, do the biopsy, and they tell me, we'll call you back. No news means good news. That's what a lot of doctors say. But go on with your life. Nice meeting you, and you'll hear from your doctor. Somebody will call you. So I'll never forget the date. April 4th, 2012 at 1 p.m. I'm getting ready to take my boys to the swimming pool. I was off for that day. I don't know if I was on vacation or what. Usually April, I'm off on vacation because it's my birthday month. My birthday is April 23rd. So April 4th, 2012, like at 1 p.m. I have my bags, my boys are ready. They have their flip-flops and everything. We're getting ready to go to the swimming pool. My phone rings and I see plastic surgery department from Kaiser on the caller ID. And I'm like, okay, maybe they're gonna call me to cancel my appointment that I had because I don't need to meet this plastic surgeon anymore. And he tells me, I have your biopsy results. My heart just started beating fast and faster and faster. I knew that that phone call meant something now. And he tells me, are you ready? Do you want to come in? We need to discuss this. We need to make a plan. Time's ticking. I'm like, oh shit. It is what I knew it was all along. So he tells me, you do have breast cancer and we need to do more testing. We need to find out if it's like HER1, HER2 positive, or the hormones and all that stuff. We need to do more testing. And he's like, you need to talk to my surgery scheduling person, and we'll go from there. What do you want to do? Remove the lump, or remove one breast, or a double mastectomy? You're very young, so I'm going to tell you this. Your cancer is really aggressive, and there is a chance of cancer coming back in 5 years. So I hung up the phone, I dropped to my knees, and I closed the door to my room. First thing I thought is, how am I going to tell my boys what I'm going through? At the time, my oldest was going to be 12, and the little one was 10, or going to be 10. That was the hard part for me. Like, let me deal with cancer. I will be okay. I will figure that part out. But how do you tell the two little humans you created that they might wake up and not have a mother? You know? But I sat there, I prayed, and I called back the surgeon. I said, for my 30th birthday, I would like a double mastectomy. I want to give up both of my breasts, and that will be the best birthday gift anybody can ever give me, because I will know in my heart that my cancer is gone and out of my body. He's like, are you sure? Because once it's done, it's done. And I'm like, I don't really have a choice. I am a mother, and I have to live for these two boys. I don't want to abandon them. I don't want them to grow up with a stepmom or anything like that, you know? So surgery was scheduled April 27th. My birthday was April 23rd. 30th birthday, had my wish come true. They did the double mastectomy, removed all the breast, gone. Nipples, everything, you name it. My cancer was stage 3, by the way. It had spread to my lymph nodes and all this side. So we had to remove all my lymph nodes, which we'll get further into that. So I had my double mastectomy. I started chemo in June. I needed 18 rounds of chemotherapy every 3 weeks. So for 18 months, every 3 weeks, I was doing chemotherapy. My oncologist was a research oncologist, so we didn't only do one type of chemo, we did like 3 types of chemo. Since my cancer was aggressive based on my age and my type of cancer, we went with 3 types of chemo, and I joined another study on top of that. So yeah, for 18 months, I would go into that oncology room, infusion room, and get treatment. Not only did I do the double mastectomy, I did chemotherapy for 18 months. After I did the chemotherapy, they tell me, oh, by the way, because you're young, we recommend you do radiation. So I did radiation too, the full max, that, which I believe was 28 or 29 rounds back to back every day. So my order of my stuff was double mastectomy, chemotherapy. At the end of chemotherapy, I did the radiation. It was a real hard journey. I'm not gonna lie. Chemo, my first round of chemo, I went and I said, I've got this. You know, I can do this. I sat in that chair for 8 hours. That's like a whole work shift. I'm like, damn, I should clock in while I'm here, you know? But I sat in that chair for 8 hours. I did the chemotherapy, bag after bag after bag. It's like blowing up my veins. By the way, we can only use this arm because I have no lymph nodes on my left side, so you cannot poke or do anything on your left side because it's harder for the lymphatic system to work and function, and I can get swollen real easy or whatever, you know? So I only have one arm to work with. I did not want to port. I don't know why, because there's restrictions with that. Like, you have to wet it this way. You cannot wet it. You can. I don't want to deal with that shit. So I'm like, no, we're just going to do IVs, figure out, find my veins. You know, I had awesome nurses, by the way. Shout out to you guys, if you guys remember me. And I sat there, I did the 8 hours of chemo, my first round, and my nurse is unplugging, taking my IV out and all that stuff. And she tells me, do you know what you're gonna feel? I never went through cancer, but based on what the patients tell me, do you know what you're going to feel? And I'm like, no. And then she's like, okay, you're going to feel like a hangover and the flu times 10 combined together. And I'm like, well, I've been sitting here for 8 hours and I haven't felt shit, so okay. I'm like, if you say so, you know, you, like you said, you never went through cancer yourself, but if that's what the patients say, well, I feel fine. So I call my mom, like, Mom, I'm done with chemo. Can you come pick me up? And my mom picks me up and she looks at me and she's like, she looks fine. Okay, what do you want to do, Janet? You know, because at this point, I'm living my life day to day. If I wake up today, it's a blessed day. Let's live it to the fullest. I wanted to go to the mall and get me some pair of Toms because I didn't have a pair of Toms. You know, never owned a pair of Toms, whatever. So we go to the mall and I'm walking around the mall and my mom's like looking at me and she's like, how are you feeling? And I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good, Mom, you know, let's do this. And she's like, that's loca, you know, you need to go home and rest. And I was like, no, Mom, I will not rest because I refuse for cancer to take over my body and make me feel like shit, you know? So then we get home and she tells me, what are you craving to eat? And I'm like, chilaquiles. I love chilaquiles. Like, I could eat that shit every day. You can ask my husband. He laughs because here comes the weekend and I'm cooking fucking chilaquiles like every weekend. But yeah, so she makes me chilaquiles and I eat the chilaquiles. And after that, I start feeling sick. Like, out of nowhere, I get hit by a bus. That's how I felt. My bones are starting to hurt. My muscles are aching. I puked all the chilaquiles I ate. And my mom's like, ¿Quieres más? Cómele, cómele. Entrale, no que te sientes bien. And I was like, shut up. I don't want to hear about food. I don't want to smell nothing. Like, just leave me alone. So then I lay down and forced myself to sleep. Took my medication to help me sleep because I knew it was going to be hard. I started vomiting. Itchy. I think it's because I'm nervous doing this video. But anyways, yeah, and I started feeling sick. But let's go back to how I told my boys because I skipped that part. So I sat my two boys down and I told them, Mommy's going to take time off work and Mommy's sick. My oldest, he goes, Mom, I heard you have cancer, right? And I'm like, yeah. And my little one tells me, Mommy, you are strong. We've been through so much stuff. You are strong, Mommy. You got this. You're a Wonder Woman. You are going to be okay. Hearing those words, even if it's from two little people, meant so much to me. Not only that day that I told him, I went in my room and I locked myself and I started talking to God. And I was on my knees crying, like bawling, like I've never cried before to anybody. And asking, why me, God? Why did you choose me? Why am I going through this? You know what, God? The only thing I want you to answer me is, am I going to beat cancer? Am I going to be okay? I don't want to die. I'm not ready to die. Whatever I did wrong, help me, God. And forgive me for whatever I did wrong. I know I haven't been a faithful and loyal Catholic or Christian. I know I've been not the best person in this earth, but forgive me, Father, but help me and guide me. Give me an answer. I am not afraid. I am not afraid of you. And I am not afraid if you give me an answer right now. Like, just show me that I'm going to be okay. Show me that I'm going to beat cancer. What do you want me to do? What is my journey in this earth? What do you want me to do for you, Father? Just show me that I'm going to be okay.